My name is Itsumi Toto, and I am a loner. But hey, I found a love potion online, so hey, might as well use it on the senpai I love so much. I'm sure this will go very well. How did we even get here?
The love potion. We should talk about that. And you may be curious why we're talking about the love potion. Seems like an odd thing to talk about, especially considering you'd think it would logically make more sense to talk about the characters, the story, No. The potion actually has a lot to do with all those little things. And let's start, well, with that animation. I mentioned earlier that Toto basically bought this, essentially, so she could
Use it on the senpai I love so much.
So what does this thing actually do? At least from what's been established so far in the story. Now, obviously in that first chapter, Makoto pretty much falls in love with Toto almost instantly. Which seems pretty simple and is about standard for what you'd expect from a love potion. And then, Dom activity. So then, that makes you question, what other special properties could this have? Chapter 2. It seems to bring out a new desire in Himari, the seemingly bully character, where they go from obviously being a bully to now this softer side to them. Yeah, I can imagine most people would look at that and be very confused, because wasn't she bullying this motherfucker just a moment ago? What happened? Well, as established a little later, this is actually Himari's true nature down deep. It definitely confirms that this gentle feeling isn't just out of nowhere or just some random thing the potion does because it technically just reacts differently. Which is a common thing with a potion, but that's just not all there is. It's clear that it definitely pulls from some deeper desire within them. Or maybe some personality trait that they've mostly kept hidden. In chapter 3, we actually get the case where she takes the potion. Unknowingly, mind you, and then her childhood friend here, Ruka, takes advantage. And the key detail here is that she actually remembered everything as established in chapter 4, which she obviously then tries to utilize to get Makoto. It doesn't f***ing work, but hey, it does at least establish the next little detail. The fact that this here love potion seems to very much keep their memories intact. It is odd that in chapter 1 there was like a mention of, what was they doing here? I think it's more that technically while under the effects, they still technically remember everything, but it's more of a faint memory of sorts. Something closer to that. They still remember the feelings and everything afterwards, but for the most part they don't have perfect memory of the scenario. Like, imagine they have vague memories of it. That's my guess anyways. Yeah, this seems pretty consistent so far. But then there's chapter 5. Now, I'm going to quickly interject here. Initially, I was going to make a point about how the love potion only seems to work on specifically whoever's in their main focus, because I thought that Ukado would have been looking at multiple potential people, and yet the potion still activated when she looked at Itsumi, when Itsumi was there. That's my thought anyways, but in actuality, it's basically the case she took the potion, Itsumi pretty much called out her to stop, then Ukado looked at her, and then the potion triggered. So this whole section is effectively moot. Next, Himari here actually shows up to check up on Toto, and it seems she still is harboring some feelings for Toto, which adds a nice little tidbit that the potion seems to still leave like a positive effect afterwards, where they're at least chummy with the person that gave it to them. Because remember, Himari used to be a bully to her. Now she's not even really doing that. They're practically chill like that. The potion has definitely changed them. For the better, debatably, but yes, it very much has changed them. Chapter 12. Basically, she finally manages to find a drink that the senpai actually likes, because before, she tried it, but he just wouldn't accept it because he didn't like it, and plus, why would he accept it from a random student? That's actually a pretty fair assessment. So yeah, he doesn't take it. Yep, she finally gets the drink, although she admittedly has to do some embarrassing things to get it. But hey, she got the drink. He made him drink the potion. He looks at her. And and nothing happens. But then, I don't know who this dude's name is, but nonetheless, he pops in and suddenly he's practically head over heels for him. This leads to easily one of the more odd oddities. Does this thing work on the same sex? We don't really get a test of this again as well. This is the last time we see these two, really and truly. Here's the thing. If the potion were to work like how it was established previously, then right here, Bro should have been falling head over heels. But he didn't.
Is it because there's two people that you have to look at? Is it because, again, as aforementioned, it affects people of the same sex? Is that the case?
That's really the only explanation I have as to why it didn't really work there. For the most part, that's actually technically the extent of what the love potion does. But there's actually one more little, oddity. This is going to spoil the cops and robbers arc a little bit, but I'm going to try to keep mostly vague so you can actually read this one for yourself. But basically, see, Toto here brought this potion in, because this was just in case they lost the cops and robbers thing. So you would think, considering how I've been establishing the potion so far, it only works when consumed. No, she shoots it at her, and it actually works pretty much effectively. It's an oddity, but it worked, I guess. I'm not going to spoil the rest of what actually happens there, but yeah, let's just say the potion, it worked. It worked, okay? That's all I really have to say there. There's something about all is fair in love and war. Does fair include all this bullshit too? Overall, would recommend. Maybe not as your first Yuri, but absolutely, it's really good. And currently has like 32 chapters, so no reason not to get into this now. Please do, it's really fucking good, and it's kind of sad nobody's really talking about it very much on YouTube because I guess they fear the wrath. So absolutely go read that shit right now.